I'm glad you got this video. So you can subscribe once and for all and like it. Because what is going to be said here is pure. I consumed to win on your Week 2 sports bets of the NFL, so it's a good thing the video got to you. I suggest you subscribe once and for all to keep appearing to you the content we record for you. Day after day after day. So I invite you to subscribe, and we leave immediately with everything that surrounds Week 2 of NFL soccer. Let's go with this Thursday's game. This Thursday, Buffalo will be with Miami in a game in which Miami came out with 2.5 points at 48.5. Seeing him observed. In the first week, there was a team of Buffalo have problems contrary and especially defensive problems against a Miami that has many offensive weapons. Because we know fast players. How fast the game speeds up too, On the other side, the world pack of the Buffalo team. J. Allen Tuba. We know Tiger Gill. We know. Well, it makes me think it could be a game where the game fish is very tall, where they play very fast in their last games. Its last 3 of them have been of more than 60 points, except the last one who passed 21-14, and Buffalo is his dad. Buffalo has won 9 out of 10 against Miami, but this time it will be played in Miami. Regardless of that, what I'm going to bet is on a high-scoring game. Buffalo with Miami first game. Let's go with the second game, Sunday's first game. The Tampa Bay team is looking forward. Will be playing for Detroit Lions this game. 7.5 win the Detroit Lions with 51.5. I understand that the line is high for be so early in the week. Detroit comes from a 26-20 win over the Rams. Ranked had offensive line problems. And anyway, they battled Detroit. Detroit's main strength is its good aerial game. It looked good playing running. It must be said. Tampa is not a team that you can run very well on. And you're going to have to go by declared air. Washington comes to score 20 to Tampa team. But an open match. Tampa was very good offensively in their first meeting. The offensive was working excellently. This Tampa set. Let's see if I have some important reports. In relation to Sesti Winfu's injuries is out for the Tampa-Detroit team. Detroit has Tecalaude. Pulsey still has the defensive line player. Davenport will also be with some problems to play. Anyway, Detroit has its arsenal there, Tampa has to depend on, basically from Baker Mayfield. I am not Baker Mayfield. Is not a saint of my devotion. But Tampa looked good again with the duo. With Gotham and with Maevas. And it must be said, because you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He has looked good in that system since he was given the position last year, and already starting this year has looked extremely good. But I'm not so sure if Detroit can cover the line. I really don't. No. I don't have last full time security. They played. Won Detroit 31-23. Prior to that, Detroit. Before that, 26. Tampa 47-7. Well, anyway, I would have to decide for one of the two. Would decide in a teaser. With Tampa, I would buy 3. I put it on a 10.5 handicap. It seems to me that Detroit is not going to win by double figures. That game is already being visited in Tennessee. 3.5 are arriving at 40. I'm going to tell you one thing. Rookie looked good for Tennessee Levi. But what happened was that they played with a very hard bone. With San Francisco. Bone was very hard. That's what happened. Hard. They give 3.5. Obviously, they can't give that much on the road. 3.5 a lot in the NFL. Taking into account that they are coming from a short week. But with the defensiveness that the Jets can show. With Sfang and Robert come out, who is a defense-oriented coach, was the San Francisco defensive coordinator. I believe Levi collided with the wrong opponent. I believe that against this defense is going to be too much for that toy. Roger hungry to win his first game. I believe here for this game that the checkers must go out the big door. Tennessee, And already watching the retrospectives. Tennessee comes from allowing Chicago 4 points. How that allows them. Chicago's 24th threw only 93 yards. Caleb Williams. But he was cut. Look, they didn't even run so well. They defended regardless of everything. What happened was that the Chicago defense was too. You understand me? That is, they defended. That is why the game is 40.5. And it could also be a game less. I like 10 games and minus 20 to 14. 21 to 16. That's why it's. So I'm going with the Jets, and I think it's 1 game less. New England, coming off a surprise, comes from beating. Be careful, 38.5 have that game. Watch out, Compa El Gallo. New England looked good. Obviously looked good defensively speaking. Looked good. New England. They have a staff. Stevenson will give him a rest. Are giving Stevenson a break. They had the New England Patriot. Stevenson was the man, but this time it won't be him. Will be given a rest. Let's see what the replacement would be. Of Mario Douglas, Jacoby Brisse is a coverback. Let's say 1-1 interesting game manager. That it is not the Flash, but he does the necessary things to you. Let's see how the troops of Yero Mayosiar continue to look like. He on his side. They dated Geno Smith, who also is a colleague of the same characteristic. Brisse features. Game administrator, running with Christian Walker with Jason Smith and Nigba with Dicka McCall with Tyler Rock. They have practically the same equipment with no eagerness. Regardless of that, I believe anyway. That distracts a little above New England. But to New England, I want to give the benefit of the doubt because they defeated. Then 38.5. It seems to me that you can do without this game as well, especially in half of the less than 19.5. And I'm not so sure. Social can give 3.5 to New England. Not for him. Not for 3.5 Persian. More after but 3. For half. The line is already high. So be careful with that game, which can be dangerous. Cleveland visits Jasonville at 3 points with 41.5 was not cooked. Of John Jackson for this game. While it is true Cleveland has a large staff. With great receivers with great players. But remember that soccer, it's a docking theme where you have Yeri Yudi who was injured. Those with pets, Judy has to be careful when she comes to see. Limited to Mary Cooper. The Ayamore is complicated for. You understand me? And the great offensive line they have is to go to more. They did not do well. Vitonio is injured, has elbow problems. What to see if it is questionable or probable, The man. And then on Jason Belt's side. Jason Belt has all his pieces in health with Ethan. With Gate David. With Christian Care. With Evan and Grand. They probably didn't work out as people expected. But I think they can go further. I like Banana Jaguars. To win at home by giving the 3 points must be a closed game. I like this game more than 41, especially at more than 41.5. Can be increased to 42. Attention, my brother. That game can go up on the weekend. San Francisco visits Minnesota. San Francisco comes out with 5.5 points. The game is 45.5. In the Minnesota totally. I don't think I can handle the San Francisco fare. Minnesota lacks Minnesota. There are good feet with Justin Jefferson, but the quarterback has to be seen how he manages. Remember that Mr. Kiev Cousin is no longer in Minnesota. They now have Sam Darnold. We have to see how they manage. Although it is true that it has a good receiver body, San Francisco will always be a difficult team. Very complicated. San Francisco expects Christian McCaffrey to return. I think San Francisco giving the 5.5 may be an option. And a very playable option for this week. Enya. Napoli visit to Green Bay. Bulls with 41 are underestimating Green Bay. But what happens? Now there is reason to underestimate it. Because Green Bay was injured. Jordan Love, I man so good he looked. Will last a few weeks. Out then. Green Bay. What Green Bay would have. Like Koreba. My mother. I'm going to tell you right now. Let me see who is the man who is likely. By the Green Bay team. since the man will be outside. The off. Let's see here. Let's see here before. Well understood. Green Bay is going to have Male Willis, and not Green Bay. Green Bay has no life with Male Willis. They alone are not going to be able to deal with so much pressure. Mali Willis, to face each other in Indianapolis, which comes from playing well, will have you to leave all the responsibility to Josh Jacob. With Josh Jacob only, they won't be able to execute what they will need. In relation to this match against the Colts of Indianapolis, I like the Colts giving the 3 stitches. And I think it's a game that should be played a lot. It is possible to run a lot on both sides. That's why I also think it should be at less than
Chargers
41.
visit Carolina 6 points.
Dan Charger with 39. Carolina. Nothing to do. Carolina is going to be a very long season for Carolina. 39 has that game. Also that other game that I like. Probably low scoring, but I think it is a more comfortable option to play the Charger, giving the 6.5 against Carolina. I don't think Carolina is talented enough yet to march off to a Charger team that they defend well, who have a good quarterback. I think the Chargers should go out the big door. Match on Sunday. Giants with Washington 1.5 from Washington with 43. This game is blind. A bad game. If I had to decide one of the two, I went with Washington, but I'm going to skip Las Vegas with Baltimore. 9.5 turnaround, with a total of 41.5 points. You know, Las Vegas, as many times as he has faced Baltimore, disappointed him and overtime. I love overtime Raiders. 33-27 before that in Baltimore. 34-17 Baltimore. But we're talking back there. 2018, Las Vegas Raider coming off a 22-10 Charger loss. Looking bad. Baltimore lost from Kansas, and they are not going to miss this opportunity for themselves. The Raiders up, especially in the middle of the country. I like the Raider in the half that give less than 1. Crows halfway through who give less than a touchdown. I believe that they are going to look for an early start of the house. New Orleans game with Dallas. Conference rivals 6 points. Dallas comes out with 46.5 points. Neolian looked good. It looked good. Neolian gave Carolina a 47. Brought the Cleveland team to its knees. We have to Neolians on their side. She looked good with Derek. With Tyson Gill and Rachiha. I think she sees it. Rachichani looked good, Kamara. The offensive line worked perfectly. And on the Dallas side, how well they handled it. A dry helium game with its main receiver. No doubt. Yes. Dylan with Brady Nico. Very fluid equipment was seen. East of Dallas. But I think he's going to play edge to edge this time. I don't think there is such a one overwhelming advantage of one over the other. The last time they played was in 2021, and Dallas won 27-17, and Dallas gave 6 with precisely the same line. With 46 has a 44. 27-17. Dallas team won that time. I think Dallas is going to win. What worries me is whether they are going to cover up. I like CD Land. To reach the end zone is the most I can tell you. For this match that has a well-established line, has one well-closed line, and the manager is not enough for you to decide. With the Ram, I like a game over 48.5 away. In the afternoon, remember that Cuba it is not Pucana. Must be doing well. Then Koppel Cup must reach the end zone. Should be given to later is a good recommendation there. The one in with Denver. Denver 2.5 at 36.5. I still like. Is going to be a surprise team. Well, honestly, it's never a surprise. But is going to win a lot of games. Will qualify. And against those rivals, Denver versus they are going to win. I like giving the 2.5 gives points. A good demonstration. Well, a defensive demonstration because they did not score an offensive against touchdown. Atlanta. I think so this time. Yes, it will be so. Kansas to be with Minnesota. That game at 04:25, I like it more than 47 and John on one side, me in Boros on the other side. I like it better. I want to remind you that if you want personal experiences of a server, just write to me. To 809-827. Monty to be your personal predictor. 7. I'll be waiting for you there. If you said, you know. If you are watching for the first time, to the channel. Chicago goes with Houston. Houston goes for a I like Houston or to bully Chicago by giving it 6 points. And Sunday night's game. One game less Sunday night. This is how it always happens. Sunday night Atlanta that runs a lot. Philadelphia that runs a lot, I think. I don't think it goes there. Will not be covered by Philadelphia Atlanta. But it is going to be a championship game. Especially except in half of the half 24 is a difficult line to give it more. That's this Sunday's poster. Stay tuned. I'm going to record the Super Pick right here. Look for it as well as Super Pitch. Monty Sport, look it up on social networks. Anyway, I'm going to leave it under there in the Super Pick. On the same Sunday, I will wear the Super Pick in the morning. So you look for it in the description of this video. A hug, blessings, and we will keep seeing each other. Pass me by. Pass me that candy, my brother.